The following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates. It does not necessarily reflect the views of WDEL or Forever Media. Rick Jensen on 1150 AM, 1017 FM, WDEL.
Oh, was my mic on when I said what it should? Well, you should. No, I've been a very, very happy client of Dan White and Associates for many, many, many years. And on the phone right now out of the Middletown office is a guy that we all know, love, and trust, and Andrew Wood. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So every Wednesday after the news at 1:30, except for when we don't. That sounds good, right? One of you guys calls in with some great tips and advice for retirement planning and new laws, regulations, and what about IRAs and all that? What do you have for us today?
Yeah, just some of the things and some of the trends that we're seeing. Obviously, there's a lot of news and has been a lot of news in over the last few weeks about Congress and increasing this debt ceiling. So, I think we're all aware that we have a little bit of a debt issue as a country. Some of the things that I'm reading are a little bit more staggering. At least it has to do with U.S. consumer and U.S. consumer debt. What we're seeing is, the recent number that came out is that U.S. consumers are now about $986 billion in debt, in credit card debt.
Damn.
That's a big number, just shy of $1 trillion. But that's not it. It's actually a little bit worse. If you consider that interest rates on average now are just over 20%, but we're looking at 1.5 trillion in auto loans, 1.6 trillion in student debt, 12 trillion in home loans. The numbers are staggering. Our country our government has a little bit of a spending issue and a debt issue, but so do American consumers. And I'll tell you, it's having an impact specifically on 401ks. Obviously a big issue that we've been seeing over the last year and a half is it's really dealing with inflation. The reality is that most people do not have enough in short-term savings, so they've tacked on this credit card debt. We're seeing interest rates continue to increase. So what happens next?
Yeah.
If you're out of cash and you need to pay the bills. If you're one of those people that has the 401ks, what we're finding is that you have a lot of people that are starting to tap into those 401ks and taking hardship withdrawals, sometimes paying penalties just to manage their debt and service the debt. So what you're seeing is that this looming retirement crisis that we've been talking about is being made, much worse because people are taking from their future to basically pay off today.
That's horrible.
Yeah, sorry for the bad news, Rick, but we're seeing a lot of things going on right now.
I know my response surprised you, but because usually I'm the one who's sarcastic. But I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking of all the baby boomers, and there is a significant portion of people in this country whose only retirement is Social Security. So
right.
This really it's a horrible thing for people right now because, we have this what we call the inflationary tax. Government spends, everything goes up. And now, really, I had no idea. We have a significant number of Americans who are taking hardship money out of their 401k plans just to pay for the ongoing bills.
That's right. And it's what's kind of crazy to me. So if you think about COVID, they're looking at the savings rate, personal savings rate when COVID occurred, about 34%. And that was due to lockdowns and stimulus payments and things like that. But the savings rate now has fallen to about 5%. And again, I think the issue there is that people they don't have enough short-term savings to pay for emergencies and pay their bills.
Well, that's just the thing. Right now, life itself is so expensive. Everything's expensive. Food, clothing, services, whatever you get. Who has money to save? People are taking money out of their savings accounts just to get by right now because of inflation.
Yeah, and again, the concern is you don't have enough in your checking savings, so you take on debt, right?
Yeah,
so that's credit cards.
All right,
once those max out, then you're tapping into your savings and your retirement savings. What's going to happen when that maxes out? And I think that's really the concern.
And it should be too. Look, I've got the grocery store apps where I can save money using the apps. It's kind of like coupon clipping digitally. We do that. We try to find any discounts we possibly can. it doesn't seem to be enough, and I doubt that there's any great fix for this or that you have any sort of, magical formula for overcoming this, do you?
No, but again, it's something you need to be aware of. Always budget things out. I don't know if I've told you this, but I don't have cable. I don't have any of that kind of stuff. So I've managed to cut a lot of those.
Neither. Randy doesn't even have streaming. I have streaming and Wi-Fi. He's got you got like the high-end Wi-Fi, and then and TV antennas.
Yeah, that's just an antenna pointed at Roxborough. Yeah, and I get like 60 channels.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it's just one of those things that if you're taking on that debt, you're stealing from your future. You're robbing from your future. So, always understand that. And the idea is you really want to try to get out of debt and eliminate all the bad debt that's out there, especially if credit card rates are over 20% right now in terms of interest. So, you got to be conscious of that.
And if the grown kids are out there, they're buying an overpriced house because that's all there is today. It's just overinflated market for residential real estate. Make sure they get a place where you can build a basement apartment for yourself. You want that basement apartment so you can come and go as you please.
That's right.
That's planning for the future. No? Well, you guys are very, very good at this, and I know you know how to work with folks to make sure they can maximize their retirement income. And while many people would say the opposite, I'm going to say I appreciate the call. It's just, and I'm glad it's on your radar because that means you're thinking about this and concerned for your clients. Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Rick.
All right, it's Andrew Wood. Dan White & Associates. Give them a call at 888-690-8820. Go over your accounts and your planning for the future as challenging as it is right now. 888-690-8820. And then Dan White presents On the Money every Sunday morning at 7 here on 101.7 FM, 1150 AM, and streaming live at WDEL.com. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that.